backstage waiting to be welcomed into the arena, and here they come. Two Chinese athletes, He Ning and Zhu Zhiru, finished up on top of the qualification round. We've also got representatives of DPR Korea, of Japan, of course, of Korea, Uzbekistan, Malaysia, Kazakhstan, Vietnam, Mongolia. Many, many nations represented from throughout the Asian continent. We saw the team medals awarded yesterday. China came out on top of that, and in the men's individual all-round this afternoon, it was an absolute nail-biter. Yang Wei of China took the gold medal. Mizutori Asashi the silver, and Hiroyuki Tomita the bronze. That was the men's competition earlier on. This now then the women's event. 4 pieces of apparatus, and we'll be seeing some of the world's very best in action.
Well, promised to be very close, just as it was with the men. The only way to separate Zhu Zhiru and He Ning in qualifying was to count back. They had the same score, so there's nothing to choose between those two. The question is whether Japan can raise their game a little bit in the shape of Oshima and Yumura. And there's a very strong challenge from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Hong there will be challenging. There's the group that will set the pace.
The 2 Chinese athletes, Zhu Zhiru, He Ning, the 2 Japanese athletes, Kyoko Oshima and Miki Yumura, and Su Jong Hong from DPR Korea. The athletes that qualified highest in the qualification rounds, they scored the highest from the qualification rounds. 5 women in each group, and they'll work in series throughout the 4 pieces of apparatus. They're the 2 Korean athletes, being joined by Kwang Sun Pyong of DPRK. Also Hee Wai Lim of Singapore, and Anna Ninkova of Uzbekistan. Over on beam, Rambakova, Hamid, Gaifelina, Purev Suren, and Goyen. And there on floor, Bian Banyam, Frag, Ali, Habshi, the 2 Qatari gymnasts, and Ned Bayalo from Kyrgyzstan. Excellent to see 2 of the Qatari athletes through to the final on home turf here in Doha. They had a very enjoyable qualification round yesterday. Plenty of support from the hometown crowd, and I'm sure they're looking forward to this final, if indeed they may be somewhat nervous. A big event.
Certainly will be nervous. It's a very hard task, tinged with the joy of representing your nation in front of a home crowd, but it is a tough call for them. And there we are, the top qualifying group acknowledging the judges and commencing their warm-up.
Well, it was a brilliant women's team competition yesterday, and no real surprise to see the Chinese women's team come out on top. But just behind them, in second place, very good to see the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. There's one of their gymnasts there, just taking her warm-up vault. They took the silver medal ahead of Japan, who had to satisfy themselves with the bronze. There we go, one of the 2 Chinese gymnasts getting warmed up on the vault. As we mentioned earlier, 4 pieces of apparatus: vault, beam, asymmetric bars and floor. The score from each piece of apparatus counting towards the final score. which will decide the medals of the individual all-round final for women for the Asian Games. Now, we were talking earlier about a sort of pole starting order for different pieces of equipment. The men preferring to start on the floor, finishing on the high bar. How are we looking here for the women?
Well, top group qualified, they get pole order. They start on vault, bars, then to beam, and finally to floor. That's the preferred order. And when you train, your final stages of build-up for competition, you need to vary the piece of apparatus that you start on, just to get used to it and just to adjust to the different demands of the apparatus.
And we've spoken already about the elements of the individual all-round, the fact that these gymnasts really do need to be consistent across the range of apparatus, all four pieces. That, a strength and a skill in itself. Over the next couple of days, we'll be seeing the individual apparatus finals, but today it's all about the all-around ability of the gymnasts. They need to be able to perform well on diverse pieces of equipment, from the floor to the beam to the asymmetric bars, and then the power event, the explosive event, the vault. Not only do they need to be able to display that wide range of skills, but they need to be able to pace themselves so that, as well as hopefully having a good strong start, they can also pull out good performances right through to the fourth and final piece of apparatus.
Number one vaulter standing by. And she's posted a top difficulty vault here. Su Jong-hong. She's away. 2.5 twist, and she landed it. My guess is she was out of the corridor, which will be a deduction, but a very difficult vault. 2.5 twist from the Yurchenko entry. Good acceleration, good contact there, but she twisted very much to the right. Let's see if she was out of that zone. Contact over to that side, and you'll see her land 1 foot out of zone. Good vaulting though. 2.5 twists is a long way round.
Certainly is a long way around, and it's a big start for Su Jong-hong of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Used to be in the good old days, they had 2 chances, 2 bites of the apple, the women, but now they've grasped the nettle, and it's just 1 vault. That's crucial, that counts.
So a pressure situation, a strong start for DPR Korea. Next to compete it will be Zhu Zhiru of Team China. She's seen that Su Jong-hong means business, but I'm sure she will respond. Just awaiting the score. She scored a 15.05 in the qualification round. She'll be hoping for perhaps a little more than that this time out, although 15.05 on vault is
good score.
Very, very good. So
usual interminable delays. They've got to get this sorted out. The judges, they take too long to come up with that score.
the delays, of course, frustrating for the gymnasts. they get themselves up to a peak performance level, both psychologically and physically. And these delays, well, it's difficult, makes it more difficult for them to keep warm, to keep the muscles warm.
It's a two-edged sword, really. I mean, they've got to get the score right, but they are taking too long.
Well, there was a new system, a new code of points, as it's called, brought in earlier on in 2006, around about January time. It was used in the World Championships in October. There have been one or two changes to what we're used to seeing. But there's the score, 14.9. She doesn't go through the 15 barrier this time, but still a very good start to the finals for Su Jong-hong of DPR Korea. Zhu Zhiru now, the first of the Chinese gymnasts.
She's not known for difficult vaulting, but she's relying very much on her all-round ability. There's the approach. Yurchenko exit. Made the 1.5 twist. A twist down. A mark less in terms of difficulty, but didn't she do it extremely well?
Well, holding out for some of her stronger pieces of apparatus still to come, but a solid start.
I would say that it'll be very close, because this was excellent vaulting. A mark down in terms of difficulty, but look at that. Really took the 1.5 twist round and landed plumb center with the pace forward. It'll be close.
So where Hong made the big difficulty, Zhiru makes the better execution. As you say, that'll make the points very close. And we've mentioned a few times before, worth mentioning again, it is that it is always that balance between difficulty and style that makes the difference. A difficult balance to strike.
All she's got to do is score 9.5. You say all she's got to do, but she's capable of that, and then she's gone ahead. If you add the difficulty to the 9.5, she's got 15 and she's gone ahead. So she could easily do that.
Well, she scored 14.2 in the qualification round to Hong's 15.5. So Hong is the stronger vaulter, I would say.
Well, it's obvious that the difference in score shows that, but the thing is, in an all-round competition, you need to pace yourself. That was a good, steady start. If she can get within a few tenths, she's clearly in the running. But in terms of execution, that vault was much better to see.
Much better.
Honestly, now, I might sound like a grumpy old devil, but they've got to get this judging sorted.
Well, one or two furrowed brows down there on the judging panel for the vault. He Ning, the next of the Chinese gymnasts to take to the vault. Just waiting for her teammate's score before she gets the nod to set off down that in-run for the vault. It's a 25-metre long in-run for the vault. Not all of the gymnasts always opt to take the full 25 metres. Depends on the vault that they're intending to do. And the vaulting equipment changed recently. Oh, there is the score, 14.25. So Hong of DPR Korea still in the lead. She holds on to that.
He Ning's away. Pike front, half turn. Again, down on the difficulty. The Chinese playing it very, very calmly, safely.
Going for the points across the four pieces of apparatus, as you said. Let's take another look.
Good vault this. Heels well over the top. Good execution. Lovely timing of the twist. You can't really take a lot of that. Beautifully done. Handspring plant. Pike summit. Rolls the shoulders and head beautifully. Little foot to the side, just a 10. Good to see.
So the women's top flight group off to a good start. Su Jong-hong of DPR Korea has had her vault. The two Chinese gymnasts have had theirs. The two remaining athletes in this group, Kyoko Oshima and Miki Yamura from Japan, in the lead at the moment. Su Jong-hong with 14.9. There's the score for He Ning, 13.75. And as you said, a little down on difficulty, and there was that little step out to the side as well. But as you mentioned, they seem to be playing it a little safer at this stage, this early stage in the competition. Now, first of the Japanese on the vault.
Oh, she was late with that twist. It was never going to get round. And the smile that peppered all of her performances in the team competition has gone. Temporarily, though, I'm sure. Little grimace there replaces the smile. Here we go. Yurchenko really late getting that twist in. It wasn't going to happen.
Short in rotation as well.
There we are. Had to pike it out to try and make it go around, but to no avail.
Well, a little bit of a rocky start for the Japanese women. Kyoko Oshima not having the best start.
Just a 12.85 for the first of the two Japanese. We're looking at Miki Yumura, second up for the Japanese. Nice. Not difficult. I say that with tongue-in-cheek, of course.
Well, she smiles with relief.
Yurchenko into the straight somersault with full turn. Nice, purposeful approach. Good controlled round off. Hits the board and the platform. Just broke form a little on the full twist.
Now Yumura is waiting for her score now. Took a 6th place in the individual all-round at the Asian Championships earlier on this year. And she's in the top 6 once again here, only just, but she'll be hoping to improve perhaps 1 or 2 places, creep up towards that podium.
The thing about the Japanese is they've always had the occasional star. They need that strength in depth. And the two of them represented in this final.
Kwang Sun from the DPR Korea takes to the asymmetric bars.
Full turn from the Stelda. Nicely into the Ginger, and it's difficult done in that direction with the low bar in front of you. Takes a lot of courage. Almost fumbled on the change, but there's the flourish in the invert. The Jaeger from it. Now this is good work. 1.5 turn, good front away half to the bottom. Almost lost hands. That's pretty tough around the shoulders. Double layout, just a pace. Well, good work.
Kwang Sun Pyeon doing the business for DPR Korea. And the score is up for Miki Yumura from Japan, 13.5. So the highest score for the vault was by Hong, the representative of DPR Korea. Here's her teammate on the asymmetric bars.
Good discipline in handstand. That's a nice Ginger. Legs absolutely locked together. There's the time she almost fumbled, but very quick. And the combination of Diego did so well there to keep focus. 1.5 turns nicely along the bar. Front away half turn to low bar. Plenty of good work here. Feet well overhead to keep the swing. And there's your double layout.
Beautiful dismount. Tiny little step, but that was fine in the air. this group that we're looking at now, the second flight of 5 in terms of qualifiers. They qualified between 5th and 10th place, or sorry, 6th and 10th place I should say, on the qualifying round. The two representatives of DPR Korea split into the two groups. Hong over in the top flight group, and Pyeon, we've just seen on the asymmetric bars, in the second flight group. And there's her score, 14.1, not bad at all. So both the gymnasts from DPR Korea having fantastic starts to their competition. Now, Kim Wei Lim, the only representative in the competition from Singapore, had a strong qualifying round. Here she goes on the asymmetrics.
And there she's gone. Didn't make the handstand, had to drop off, such a pity. But look at the focus, look, I can do this. She'll do exactly the same skill. Very nicely done. And now she's having to work hard, lost style on the Ginger. Missed the handstand on the transfer to lower bar. I tell you, it's a long routine when things go wrong right at the start. Straight in the first, piked in the second. Pity about the start. Got some nice work, we noticed that in the team competition. All on her own and doing a great job. Nice extension through the shoulders, but lost legs here. Missed the handstand there on the transfer. You've got to hit it as many times as you can. Lovely technique in the long swing though, no bend in the arms. Really wrapped it in to make sure the rotation on the double. Some nice work there. Not too worried about things, is she?
Bit of a cool customer, enjoying the Asian Games, her experience, as you said. Working here alone, the only representative from Singapore, but seems to be a nice atmosphere down there with her friends from the DPR Korea. All the gymnasts look to be getting on very well together, and yeah, she looks like a pretty cool customer, this one. Kim Wei Lim.
Look at that, straight over to beam preparation. One out of the way, let's get ready for the next.
There's the score for the asymmetric bars, 11.6. Obviously reflecting the problems that she had at the beginning of that routine. Now the asymmetric bars being prepared for the 5th and final competitor from this group, Anna Ninkova from Uzbekistan. Now Ninkova registered a score of 12.35 in her qualification round on the asymmetric bars.
Ready now. Good simple start, safely through it. Losing that right leg badly as she clears the bottom bar there, and again she's lost it. And in the end it had to run out. Just a little lack of focus there. She got mad with herself, mad with the coach, and the coach is just doing the right thing here, staying calm and trying to say to her, come on now, don't lose it. But I'm afraid she already has. Losing that right leg. Good straddle Jaeger though. Missing handstand. Now if she gets through this now, she's passed the test. Refocusing after problem. She lost her temper a little bit with herself. Double front, oh, tough. Well, she's disgusted with herself, but she needn't be. To get in a final at this level, she must not kick herself too hard. A few problems there. There's the Jaeger. Just didn't lift the heels hard enough to keep the rotation. And the double front, again, a lack of heels at the back.
Well, not the best of starts.
But you know, you could see the frustration show there. She really lost it. Understandable in a way.
Understandable, but in the individual all-round finals, they need to keep their composure across 4 pieces of apparatus. And we saw mistakes from some of the men earlier on, but they managed to rally and pull around, particularly the Japanese men. And here is one of their teammates now.
Good start, nice and clean here. Hits handstand nicely. Working hard to transfer between the 2 bars. Good toe on, short of handstand, but keeping the string going. Working very hard here. Winding up, there's the starter. Short on difficulty, this one. But there, the full twisting double for a 13.4 for Han Sol-Yu.
Of the Korean team. That was looking back to a little earlier on, and that concludes the asymmetric bars for that group.
And we talked earlier about making up the difference on successive apparatus. There's only 4 opportunities here. It's a shorter race, 4 apparatus, 11.6 for Ninkova on bars.
Well, just looking at the scores after rotation 1 of 4. There we go. Su Jong-hong from DPR Korea, currently leading ahead of Zhu Jiru of China. Another DPRK athlete, Pyong Kwang-sun, in 3rd place. Heining from China in 4th. So a little bit of an upset there. That probably a little bit unexpected, I would say, that the DPRK gymnasts are doing so well, but good on them, and it's great to see the Chinese women being challenged.
It's good that a bars routine got in amongst the placings there. It is tough to get a mark on bars. Some of the bars specialists will be scoring better, but remember, these are all-round gymnasts. And to have that ranking at the start makes the competition nice and interesting, doesn't it? DPRK, China, and DPRK.
There's Zhu Jiru watching her teammate Heining warm up on the asymmetric bars.
I tell you though, this is where the difference will be, because when the Chinese go to bars, it's an advantage. It's their traditional super piece.
There is the start list for rotation 2. And the asymmetric bars for the top flight. Zhu Jiru, Heining, Kyoko Oshima, Miki Yamura, and Su Jong-hong. Top 5 qualifiers from the qualification round. And they'll be in action over on the asymmetric bars on beam. Anna Ninkova warming up just at the moment, representing Uzbekistan. She'll be joined by Malayan Bay, Kwang Sun Pyeon, William Heem, and Han Sol Yu. 2 Koreans in that group.
Han Sol Yu has some nice touches. She did a good little barge, not difficult. There she is. She's got some nice work.
It's a good camera angle, that one. You can see just how narrow that beam is.
House brick. If you want to try something at home, just stick a couple of house bricks together and try and balance on them.
So, on beam, Malayan Bay representing Korea, first to go.
Free walkover start. The problems in the qualifying rounds were in the connections. You need to join those skills very quickly, and that was rock solid to start. That flip layout. It's the leaps that cause the problems on the joining. Nice little windmill to bring it under control. Here come the leaps. 360 under control. Standing tuck. Now she's working very well. Time, second somersault, that time in the pike position. And she made that connection okay between the 2 leaps. Oh, that was good. Full twist in the Cossack or the wolf jump. Small adjustments, but they are small. This is pretty good. She's setting up the dismount. Double tuck, just the pace.
Malayan Bay, a good solid start from her on beam, representing Korea. Looks happy enough with that one. So does the coach and the rest of the team.
12.95 on the first apparatus, and she did quite well there. So Bay building nicely.
Now back over on the asymmetric bars with the top 5 qualifiers, and it is Zhu Jiru representing China next to compete.
Locking out in the handstand, both early skills, technically super, simple but super. Into the invert, flourish 1.5 turns. Lovely connection and pirouettes all the way through. Look at the handstand. Lovely flighty Diego with plenty of rotation to keep the swing. Good pack salto to lower bar. Toe on transfer, and this is the business so far. Nice invert kick out at the top. Big wind up. And the double layout, which just about moved backwards. But what a super routine from her. Shaking hands. And so she should.
There the score for Bay of Korea, 13.75 over on beam. But that routine from Zhu Jiru, just what she needed. She's in second place, and she knew that she needed to get something out of the bag there, pull something out of the bag, big score, and she did it. Kwang Sun Pyeon next on beam.
Beam is the big tester. Very solid front somersault. Backflip, layout, a little dip to the side, but very quickly recovered. Two leaps, joined successfully, although lacking just a little bit of height. Brilliant attempt at the ring split there, but she really needed to get a little bit more air between her and the beam. Free walkover, nicely done. Into the sheep jump. That's and both DPRK gymnasts on beam looking very, very sure. Double tuck.
Well, she's in pretty good form. She registered 14.9 on beam for her qualifying score. Not too bad at all. And that was a good routine too. Let's take a look back.
Walkover. Back walkover or back flick. Depends on whether you count 2 feet or 1 foot landing. There's the double semi-dismount.
Now, I am occasionally mentioning some of the qualifying round scores here, just as a comparison, but none of those scores count towards this final. All the gymnasts go back to scratch and start from the beginning. In this, the individual all-round final for the women at the Asian Games. So just awaiting the score on beam for Kwang Sun Pion. Let's go back over to asymmetric bars, and we can see that it's a 14.5 for Zhu Jiru. She's back in the race. Now, He Ning, a younger teammate, also on asymmetric bars.
Very serious approach. Doesn't smile a lot, but her work is excellent. Lovely pike Jaeger. Look at the flight and height in that pack transfer. Pushing the head through to make sure of rotation. Lovely kick out invert technique. Popping around the half turn. There's a Gatchev as well. Second big release. Well done. Oh, and a full twist. Double straight with a pace at the end. Now it's hotting up.
Unbelievable stuff from He Ning. She was the highest scorer on asymmetric bars in the qualification round, and you can see why. We'll wait for her score. In the meantime, Kwang Sun Pyong's score over on beam, 14.2. So she's still doing quite well. Still giving the Chinese something to think about. Here we go, He Ning's replay.
Lovely work. Look at that, legs locked together. Very precise, knows exactly where she is on the bar, smack center after the pirouettes to make the Gatchev. Lovely, straight arms, and look at that, full twist in the double straight.
Well, she won the qualification round. She's got a real confidence about her. Not surprised after a routine like that on the asymmetric bars. As I said, she was the highest scorer in qualifications for asymmetric bars as well. So a real battle between DPRK and China establishing itself now as we approach the halfway stage in the women's individual all-around final.
There's something about them. They're working together.
Crack my back, will you, she says.
Getting the little crinkles out.
All right. Well, those landings from the big dismounts can cause a bit of compression on the spine. It's nice to get it cracked back out, stretched out before they move on to the next piece of apparatus. There's nothing somebody involved in acrobatic sports likes more than getting their back cracked. And there's the score. Very impressive. 14.9 for Heining. She'll be delighted with that, I've no doubt.
Getting very close at the top there after that. Just a tenth between her and Zhu Zhu. But this young lady who smiled her way through the first round, Oshima, disappointed she was with her attempt on vault. Let's see if we can get that smile back. Nice hex start, clear of the bar. Nice pirouette, beautifully timed, hit the handstand exactly. Pike Jaeger, clean and easy. Good transfer to lower bar. Plenty of flight back to the high bar. A little bit short there. Big wind up, double pike will give her. That's better, the smile's back.
A little bit of a wobbly start for Oshima on vault, but as you say, seems to have got things back in control on the asymmetric bars. Let's take a look back at that routine.
That's nice. Love that arm action. Pike Jaeger. Some of the big moves on bars named after the Swiss. Stauder for the straddle move. Jaeger for the somersault. That's nice. Piked and clean.
Interestingly, she's coached by Sukahara-san.
Sukahara, what a great innovator he was. The family still involved in the sport. When you have two moves named after you and they last for over 30 years, that's your contribution.
And still coaching gymnasts of the very top level. So, Miki Yumura, second of the Japanese gymnasts. Next to compete on asymmetric bars. Final preparations being made. Assistance from a teammate as well, that's nice to see. Both gymnasts up there preparing the bars, getting the right level of chalk on the bars for the grip before Yumura steps up to take her turn. There's the score for Oshima, 13.9. She may have been hoping for a little more than that, but it's good. It's across all four pieces of apparatus. Let's remind you of that. So, not a bad score on bars. Let's see how Miki Yumura, her teammate, performs.
Same start. Very often you get teams who favour a start and carries over through to the individual competition. That's a good combination. Nicely into the invert. 1.5 turns. There's the transfer. Very sharply done. If she sticks this. Double. Nice attempt. Half into the double. Congratulations. Lots of celebrating, which is good to see in a major championship. Good technique here, look at that. 1.5 turns from the starter. The connection into the straddle Jaeger, very impressive. Wide, smiles. Very sure of grasp to do 1.5 into invert, quick change, And you notice there, Richard, they don't have the thumbs round the bar. It's not the firmest of grips. With that fatter bar, it's very difficult to get your thumbs round. So these girls can swing.
Well, impressive stuff. Solid performances from both the Japanese gymnasts. But we still have one gymnast remaining to go on asymmetric bar. She's the current leader from DPR Korea, Soo Jong-hong. She's just making her preparations now as we await the score for Miki Yamura. Now, both Chinese gymnasts have posted good scores on the asymmetric bars, so the pressure is on Soo Jong-hong. She'll have to perform very well if she wants to hold on to the lead that she went into this rotation with.
Indeed.
Well, there's the score for Yamura. It's a 14.4. Just got confirmation through of that one, so better than a teammate, not quite as good as the two Chinese athletes. Zhu Zhiru scored a 14.5.
She's going well. DPRK are being very well represented here, flying the flag. And the connections are difficult, but that is a problem. She lost the swing, and that'll be a 3/10 deduction in the middle. Bent her arms there as well. Back in control for the double layup, which was beautiful. So
she's a competitor, all right.
Yu was really determined. Beg your pardon, I called her Yu, she's Hong, of course. But there's some lovely work here. 1.5 turns, the connection into inverted swing, very well done. There's the forward swing, and that's into straddle pike Jaeger. Finding a way through to invert, then into forward grasp. Beautiful work. Tell you what, it's not all over by any question. Halfway could be a very interesting springboard for the rest of the competition.
Well, it was a 14.5 for Zhu Zhiru. It was a 14.9 for He Ning. Let's see what Soo Jong-hong registers for her performance on the asymmetric bars. We might have to wait a minute for that score whilst we jump over to the beam for Han Sol-yu of the Korean team.
Nice split lead. Plenty of height. And walk over, just an adjustment into the side, and she sorted that one out. You can tell she's setting up the 360. Little dip of the shoulders. There's some good work here. Very, very solid in the connected leaps. Nice pike back. Backflip, layout back, and there's some work here. Focus. Well, 1.5 twists. I'm not going to give her that extra twist at the end. She'd be looking for a double from the judges. They won't give it to her. Little wry smile.
Well, the big news is that Soo Jong-hong has scored 14.95 on the asymmetric bars and holds onto her lead. She's almost a mark, or just over a mark ahead of Zhu Zhiru of China and He Ning of China. And her teammate, Kwangsun Pyong is in 4th place, so the Democratic People's Republic of Korea really giving the Chinese a run for their money. DPRK in 1st, China in 2nd and 3rd, DPRK in 4th. Now, the Chinese women have to be a little bit concerned about that.
I think that the halfway stage is crucial, and it's a psychological advantage. We're watching a reprise of the performance of Yu, and she's had a good first half. But DPRK have produced a bit of an upset.
Well, that's what we like. Makes it more exciting. A lot of people were just giving it automatically to the Chinese, but never the case at the top end of sport like this. An exciting women's final. Let's take a look at Him Wai Lim from Singapore on beam.
She too has some very good work in the locker. That was nice. Straddle, full turn. Backflip. Nice. Back somersault in flight from roundoff, which is not easy. A 2-foot landing. And then she drops off. What a pity. But so many of these women have the work. A good level of competition here. Just the consistency they need to strive for. Two very difficult jumps she's included. Tuck front, with that adjustment. Split into Cossack with not too much pause. To the end of the beam. 2.5 twists, 13.05. Good gymnast here.
She's doing a good job. She's out there competing alone, doesn't have any other team members to support her along. She's moving onto the floor now. This is just her warm-up. There, the score for Han Sol Yu, 13.35 on beam. 26.75 her total. That puts her in the 6th place at the moment. But the battle is developing for the top 3 places. There's the upsetter, Su Jong Hong of DPR Korea, ahead of the 2 Chinese athletes, Zhu Jiru and He Ning, and another DPRK athlete, Kwangsun Pyong, in 4th. The 2 Japanese, Yumura and Oshima, down in 5th and 6th.
It's holding up beautifully. The last 2 pieces will be head-to-head, and they do happen to be the strongest for the Chinese. But, as I say, psychologically, if you get to halfway and you're on top, you're feeling good about life.
Well, the DPRK team did give the Chinese women a run for their money to some extent at some parts of the competition yesterday in the team final. They took the silver medal ultimately. China, of course, took the gold, but nice to see them putting the pressure on in the individual all-round finals as well.
Certainly. And you've got to look at these 2 warming up on beam. Both these Chinese girls are capable of high 15s, and they will not give up. Half the competition over. 2 more opportunities to close that gap. But the DPRK gymnast Hong will be focused and will be determined. He Ning is first up on beam.
And there's only 1/10 separating Zhu Jiru and He Ning between the 2nd and 3rd spots. So plenty of competition in the top 4 spots as we move into the 3rd piece of apparatus. He Ning on beam.
Lovely. Superb. Lovely leap into a somersault, then Corbett flick, and the height and posture they achieve in the leaps and jumps, the Chinese, rock solid here. Look at this. Very clever, twisted shoulders, pulled back straight. And that is class. Drifting through the 360. Side semi. Good posture. Front somersault. I'll tell you what. This is superb beam work. On the toughest of all female apparatus. Finding that extra bit of vitality and flair. Look at that. She knows where the end of that beam is after hours and hours of repetition. Double tuck with a deep landing, but just the pace back. But while she was on the beam, great work.
He Ning, the first of the Chinese gymnasts to go on the beam. Now they know they're both being challenged by Hong, and this was a good response.
Superb technique. Look at that in the leap. There's the tuck back into the corbett. Lovely view. Free walkover, and then immediately backwards into flick and layout. Lovely combinations, building the difficulty. That was the side, you'd have to guess that, but you can tell from the feet. Double tuck, just buckled here a little, but very quickly recovered it. And a smile.
Well, we don't often see He Ning cracking a smile. Nice to see. She's a very, very focused individual. A familiar face in the audience.
Jump 5. Filming, recording for posterity, and this could be very, very important. He scores. She'll want to be in the 15s, and that will put pressure on.
She registered 15.5 in the qualification rounds. If she can do the same again, well, that certainly will put pressure on the leader, Su Jong Hong. Su Jong Hong, of course, sitting out, waiting and watching carefully. The two Japanese gymnasts will be next to compete on the beam. But at the moment, that is the routine that needs to be beaten as far as beam is concerned. A very solid start for He Ning. 15.6. It's an impressive score. And it looks like He Ning has certainly responded to the challenge of Su Jong Hong, and the pressure is now on. Well, here we go with the first of the two Japanese gymnasts, Kyoko Oshima.
Big start, layout back. 1 foot landing, and if you land on 1 foot first, you've got a chance to square hips and shoulders, but all the same, a daunting skill to open. Tuck front somersault, no major adjustment. Backflip, layout, very solid. Inward turn to make it an aerial, and safely through the 360. Skipping easily through the lunge and into the side somersault. Corbett flick. Immensely difficult connections, but the work here technically very sound. Two and a half twists all the way around.
Another gymnast getting a tremendous amount of enjoyment out of her time here at the Asian Games. It's a fantastic atmosphere in this competition, and we're seeing some fantastic performances too.
Good start. Lay out, suddenly to one leg. Back flip. Lay out. That one leg hitting first gives you an opportunity to set your shoulders and hips and square up. There's the Corbett. Long way round, 2.5 twists, but she made it. Left knee didn't quite.
So, awaiting the score of the first of the two Japanese gymnasts in the top flight. Kyoko Oshima. Heining of China has done her work on the beam. She needs to sit down now, watch the rest of the competitors, see if anybody can go better.
Well, Hong needs 14.75, which is a pretty tall order. Can't afford any obvious mistakes on beam. 14.35 for Oshima. So you see, to get well into the 14s, it is a big ask.
Her teammate now, Miki Yamura, 20-year-old from Tokyo. Her turn on beam.
Front somersault start, good and steady. And that time along the beam. Two fronts out of the way, and not a sign of an adjustment. Neither was that. Flick layout. Very effective in the walkover and into the sheep jump. Both the Japanese women have presented very sound beam performances. Need to up the difficulty though, if they're going to get to the magic 15. Pike, somersault, stay on. She did, well battled. There's the Corbett. A couple of extra swings with the legs there before she remounted. Very good, basic, positive technique in the connected leaps. Nice change leg. Nomura set a good beam set, apart from one adjustment there, 2.5 twists around easily. So easily, it may have been 1.5. We'll have to have a closer look.
Still the score to beat on beam, 15.6 from Heining of China. Very strong performance from her.
This was a good beam. Lovely technique from the lunge into the walkover. Very confident in the sheep jump, head well back. Super work, really. Look at that. Pike front almost came to grief, but did so well to battle and didn't touch the beam. Little smile to herself too. It was 2.5. Very quick twisting. Needs 14.5 does Hong to overhaul Heining.
Well, the pressure is on. We'll see how well she performs now. There's the score, 14.3 for Yumura.
See how difficult it is to come by scores. That was a good beam routine apart from the adjustment.
Not quite as good as her teammate Oshima, but this is the gymnast we want to see now. Su Jong-hong of DPRK. Can she hold on to her lead? This will need to be good.
And a mistake right at the start. She could not hold back. Had to put the very top draw of difficulty in if she was going to get in to the high 14s that she needed. So that's 8/10 away. Cannot afford another mistake. Very precise in the free walkover. But that pause between the two means she's got to find a connection somewhere else. There was too long a break there. Bit unsure in the 360, but to fall off right at the start really did give her an uphill struggle. Double tuck, just the pace forward, but consistency over 4 pieces to be in front after 2.
Well, she does have over a mark lead on Haining, but with the mistakes coming like that, it looks like her lead will almost certainly have gone. So while we await her score, let's take a look at one of the Korean athletes on floor.
Full twisting double.
Han Sol Yu.
Twist into full twist. The leaps and spins we have identified before as being equally important in terms of constructing the exercise. And that was not going to be given credit for a triple spin. Nor for the triple.
Didn't get the feet all the way around, short in twisting rotation.
Big tumble coming up. Double pipe went round. It's a little skip forward, but some problems gymnastically and acrobatically. Such a pity. Really pulled that round nicely. A resigned smile.
13.5 the score for Su Jong-hong. So looks like her lead will have gone. That's a disappointment. 3 pieces of apparatus out of the way. It's doubtful whether she'll be able to pull anything back on floor against the might of the Chinese women. So Zhu Zhiru for China, the last of the top 5 to go on beam.
You know, I've gone on and on and on about the Chinese ability to leap. Let's have a look at them, try and pick out the jumps and the leaps and see what separates them from the rest of the world. Well, I don't know about the leaps, but the acrobatics are pretty impressive as well.
A very interesting combination there.
Very, very sharp to recover body tension there. Back flip, layout. No leap so far. They'll have to come in soon. There's one. There's the other. Very precise. And almost all the Chinese include head back leap, which we haven't seen from her yet, but that's beautiful. Half turn into forward walkover. There's the head back leap, and so solid when she landed. And what makes the head back so difficult is you're unsighted. And again, that's 2. Double pike, beautiful work, absolutely.
Another very solid performance from China. There the score for Han Sol Yu from Korea on floor, 13.65.
15.6 she needs. If it's going to be...
Well, she went into this round in 3rd place, so she could do with a good score here.
Well, she's going to be 2nd. There's no way that the 13.5 of Hong will withstand that. The question is that this work was beautiful. There's the connection front to back and into the Corbett. Her leaps were solid, her acrobatics were difficult, her connections were precise, her dismount was impressive. Backflip, layout. Very nice double pike here. 15.6, and she'll find herself on top of the pile.
She scored 15.7 in the qualifications, so capable of it, of course, as you'd expect. Well,
what a shame for her.
That was, she gave them a good run for her money initially there, but seems to have thrown it away. Kwang Sun Pion, her teammate. Let's take a look back at her floor routine.
Full twisting double. And the lesson to be learned, I think, with floor is the choreography needs working on for most except the Chinese. We don't have the advantage here of hearing the music on these replays. Leaps, turns, somersaults forward and backwards, somersaults sideward, dismounts, all have to be included. Step out and through to double twist at the end. Difficult without the music to get the full impression. Double spin, which was a good decision. She needed to be completed before that front foot went down. She just about got there. Double pike, which is the favoured finish, 2/10 or 2 paces out, 13.45.
Well, we should be able to get an update on the score now for Zhu Zhiru. That last routine that we saw from her on beam, she's looking for a 15.6.
Looks like a 15.35 if my maths are right, but they never are.
15.45, I think. Not bad, Mitch, not bad. Well, that puts her on the 44.2 as a total and into 2nd place behind Heineng, who's on 44.25. So the 2 Chinese in 1st and 2nd, but separated by the smallest amount. And in 3rd place, Hong of the DPRK. A shame to see her slip down there, but it looks like her chance at gold or silver is probably gone now. She'll be looking to hold on to that bronze medal position. Yumura of Japan is in 4th place, just behind her, but over a mark away. So she's got a little bit in the bank there. And and she's on to her fourth and final piece of apparatus now, which is the floor. So if she can put in a reasonable performance on the floor, then she'll keep herself in that bronze medal position. But now the battle really is between gold and silver, and as I said, the smallest of margins separating Heining and Zhu Zhiru. So once again, the competition going down to the wire, albeit between two of the Chinese women. But the gold medal certainly not in the bag just yet. This routine on floor counts. It'll need to be good from Heining if she wants to hold on to the first place.
Be interested to see, Richard, you've got your stats there. 15.45, that's confirmation of Zhu Zhiru's score. Be interested to see, as you scan your stats, who got the highest mark on floor in qualifying between these two.
Well, Heining registered a 14.75. Zhu Zhiru a 14.8. So on the basis of the qualification rounds,
it's going to be a dead heat.
They're very, very closely matched, and it could be. It'll be down to the smallest of errors or the most minuscule elements of form and style, I would imagine. They were competing together for the team gold, which they won yesterday. Now they're competing against each other for the individual gold. And it will be fascinating to see which of the two Chinese women comes out on top. There, the current leader, Heining.
She's a toughie. You can tell, can't you? Body language.
Real air of confidence about her. But here we go with the first of the floor exercises. Oshima of Japan.
Double twist into full twist. Lively start. Now the Japanese too have made progress on floor, trying to make choreography important. Oh, that was very ambitious. Just lost focus at the end.
She's going well though. Here, the final tumble. Double pike to finish.
She fooled you there, Richard.
Not the final tumble.
Speaking of tumbles, we just have one right next to us in the commentary box, which...
A little bit of an upset in the commentary box there. One of our Chinese friends took a bit of a spill.
rendered me absolutely helpless. 2.5 twists there. That was the final tumble.
There we go. So, an energetic and confident performance by Oshima of Japan on her fourth and final piece of apparatus. She looks happy enough with the job that she's done here today in the women's finals. There we go, a look back at that routine. Running out of height a little bit, and that full twister at the end. Going overhead for the 1.5 twister.
Can I just say, Richard, what a grand job of commentary you're doing, because I totally corpsed on that.
Here she goes with the final tumble, the double back in the pike position.
It was not the final tumble.
Oh, it's the same mistake I made earlier. Yeah. But a double pike back nonetheless. Well, there she goes. She looked happy enough with that. That rounds off her finals, 14.9, and a good score too. So it looks like the standard of the women's competition on floor is going to be something special. Now her teammate Miki Yumura.
And they have made great strides. We've said that before on floor. That's lovely. Double twist into tuck front. The teammate did exactly the same with a full twist on the end of the run. 2.5 twists, beautifully done. You see, there's a little bit of presence here in the choreography. They're like the Chinese, they've addressed that problem. Nice in the spin. good in the leaps combination. Oh, that's nice. Full into full, but just staggered backwards. It's a pity. You know, when you're a tiny little thing like that, to look as classic and as elegant as she's managing, it's quite an achievement. With all the connections and the choreography, she can tumble. Nice double pike, just as well, absolutely under control. That was quite delightful.
Nicely in time with the music, but there was that little stumble there. That's a shame. Well, she knows she could have probably done better, but her day is finished in the individual all-round finals. She looks happy enough.
Some lovely touches here. Look at that. Double twist, tuck front. Good decision that, not to try another twist. Full, and this is where it went slightly awry, slipped, but really that was great presence.
Good recovery and a big smile trying to trick the judges. Great presence.
Lovely double pike here, look, bang. And that nice flourish.
Well, while we wait for Yumura's score, I can tell you that Su Jonghong will be next to compete. We've seen an astounding performance by He Ning of China. Su Jonghong went this round in third place. There she is. She's got some gap to close. What she's looking to do here is hold on to that bronze medal position, really. But she's seen a couple of good performances from the Japanese, and she'll have to pull a good routine out here. She wants to hold on to that bronze medal position.
Which is about 1.2 up. So she basically needs no errors.
Well, Yumura goes into the lead, I believe. We need confirmation of that score still. And while we're waiting for confirmation, let's take a look at the floor routine of Su Jonghong. Can she hold on to that bronze medal position?
Full twisting double. Good, sharp start, which will set her up. 2.5 twist. Just a quick little adjustment at the end, but lovely combination. 2.5 twist in the top front. There's the leaps. Tried a double pyro there, but didn't work. Paces back. These are tiny errors, though. Not enough to put her into too much trouble. Triple twist, and that was all the way around. Setting up the double spin. That was a good decision as well. Just a little bit stilted in the choreography, but that will come. That's the next phase, I'm sure, of her preparation. But the tumbling is very, very good. Double pike, just the pace. A few uncertain moments, but she did well. Lots of pressure on her. Miki Yumura there. Hong.
Well, there's a teammate, Kwang Sun Pyong, over on the vault.
Plenty of attack. Yachenko. Oh, double twist, run out, knees and feet. Now, because she hit knees first, that will be counted as a fall. That's 8/10 off. Look, what an attitude. That's excellent. These things happen. Moving to the side, knees first, I think it was. So that's 8/10. They'll class that as a fall. And then they'll trace backwards. Not enough flight, not enough height.
Well, while we wait for the score for that vault, I can tell you that Miki Yumura has gone into the lead. There's the score for Su Jong-hong, 14.45. Now, will that be enough to go ahead of Miki Yumura? Yes, it is. She's ahead, 57.8 the total, so she will get the bronze medal. Who will get the gold and who will get the silver? 2 athletes remaining.
Big routine for Zhu Zhiru, this. Finds a way around the double twist. There's a little marker that she's always placing. That's nicely done. One and a half twist into full twist. A couple of paces at the end of each tumble. And there's this lovely transition. For me, it just encapsulates the progress the Chinese have made.
It's beautiful dance in itself.
Lovely to watch. Back into the pacey stuff. 2.5 twists. Lots of drama in the choreography as well. Double pike with the pace. And that lovely little finish. Not quite the sparkle of a qualifying round performance, but Zhu Zhiru doing a great job.
Well, will she have done enough? It's enough to put pressure on Heining. Heining does need now to pull out a strong routine to hold on to the gold medal position, because the 2 Chinese gymnasts are only 0.5 apart going into this round. So a solid performance from Zhu Zhiru, and the pressure now on the last competitor in the competition, the current leader, Heining. She's just seen the routine from her teammate.
Started with a double twist and that pace there, and there was a pace in another tumble, but the presentation of the routine was so enjoyable. 2.5 twists, and there's the second pace. Nice feeling to know you've got 4 behind you. All done. It's for someone else to do now.
14.85 the score, 59.05 the total. So no question about it that Zhu Zhiru moves into the lead. Can Heining hold on to it though? If she can produce something special now, she's 0.05 ahead only going into this round. This needs to be good.
To tie. Same score, and she's won. Full twisting double. One and a half twist, full twist. Just the pace. There's nothing to split them at all at the moment. Lovely technique in the leaps. Feel to the routine. Double pike, and that was absolutely spot on. Opting not to finish with that, but she's got all those dramatic body gestures that set the Chinese apart in this competition. Look at that. So tiny, but so elegant. Big tumble. 2.5 twists just to pace forward. Just the final gestures. Well, for me, she's done the job.
There wasn't very much to take away from that routine. As you said, she needs to get 14.8 to draw. She needs to get 14.85, the same score as Giroux, to win. And, well, we don't want to stick our necks out too far, but it looks very much like He Ning has risen to the challenge, has risen to the occasion, produced the goods when it mattered, and pulled out what could be a winning routine.
Well, they're congratulating each other. Look at this now. Who's won there? Because it doesn't matter to them, you know. The Chinese, as long as that orange leotard gets up on the podium in first place, it doesn't matter to them. The hugs and the cuddles were the same for both of them, which is lovely to see. Well, back to the stats, Richard.
He Ning scored 14.75 in the qualification rounds. If she does that here, she will lose. If she scores 14.8, as he said, it'll be a draw. 14.85, she's got the gold. What is it going to be? There wasn't much to take away from it, that's for sure. There's the score, there's the confirmation. 15.2, an emphatic victory. 59.45, the total for He Ning of China. She takes the gold medal in the women's individual all-around at the 15th Asian Games. A fantastic finish all the way to the wire, but with that fourth and final piece of apparatus under her belt, He Ning left no doubt in anybody's mind that she is the Asian Games champion for 2006.
Their attitude is super. We go on about it, but isn't it refreshing in top-class international sport to see this sort of camaraderie? This performance from He Ning was super. Under pressure, that's the opener. One pace she gave away in all of the tumbles. That's pretty good work. Beg your pardon, 2 paces. But look at those gestures when you're, I don't know, 4'6", maybe even shorter. Yeah, lovely. To make yourself appear 6 feet tall with the flourishes and the classic line. It's a good trick if you can do it.
Well, the Chinese women were so impressive on floor yesterday in the team finals. And we've seen more of the same again today, particularly there, though, from He Ning. She really did turn it on at the 11th hour. She was the last competitor in the all-around final. All eyes were on the floor. And for a youngster, well, tremendous poise, tremendous presence, and tremendous confidence. Just to be able to trot out a routine of that brilliance under that kind of pressure.
Spare a thought for Hong, though. There she is. Leader at halfway.
She gave them a bit of a fright, I think. As you say, the leader at halfway. Su Jong-kwon from DPR Korea. She finished up with the bronze medal. She can be happy with that. Zhu Giroux took silver, but it's He Ning on camera now who takes the gold.
And the legacy that Zhang Nang and Chung Fai, as the senior members of the team are leaving, is in safe hands with these 2 youngsters. What is going to happen in Beijing? Looking good.
Well, they've taken gold in men's and women's team. They've taken gold in men's individual all-around. They've taken gold in the women's individual all-around now. Well, still one competitor to go, in actual fact, on the asymmetric bars. Tatiana Gaifolina from Uzbekistan. There have been 1 or 2 delays with the judging on the asymmetric bars. Gaifolina, the 5th of her group to go.
That's nice. Delchev release. I don't see too many of those. Tawang, good transfer to the top bar. Double pike, it was a long way round and she needed a kick through the bottom.
Rotating a little slowly there.
Very reminiscent of Boginskaya to look at, this gymnast. That's a lovely Delchev release. Half turn into piked Jaeger shape. That was the high spot of the routine. But this, she kicked, but not hard enough. Just about got round.
Well, that wraps up the competition action for the women's individual all-round final. An amazing final it was. We saw the men this morning in action, the women this afternoon. Yang Wei for China in the men's took the gold. Hisashi Mizutori took silver for Japan. Hiroyuki Tomita took bronze for the Japanese. And in the women's event this afternoon, He Ning of China takes the Asian Games title, walks away with the gold medal. Her teammate Zhu Jiru with the silver. And a great performance from Su Jong Hong of DPR Korea to claim that bronze medal. So just a few short moments before we're able to bring you the presentation award ceremony for that women's individual all-around final. We'll be back in a few moments. There we go, confirmation of the scores. He Ning of China in gold medal position. Zhu Jiru takes the silver. Hong of DPR Korea takes third. Good performance from the Japanese athletes Yamura and Oshima in fourth and fifth. But it is China on top with the gold and silver medals today for the women's individual all-round final. Good to see Shagun Ali from Qatar and Jazi Al-Hadji, her teammate, making it through to the final and competing well and enjoying themselves in front of the hometown crowd here in Doha. A fantastic women's individual all-round final as the new Asian Games champion is crowned. Taking a look back at some of the performances from the bronze medalist Su Jong Hong. She was leading after the first two pieces of apparatus. Put a little bit of a frightener on the Chinese team, I've no doubt. That's where it started to go wrong for her. On the beam, she started to slip, but a solid floor performance saw her hold on to that bronze medal position. It's a good result for DPR Korea. She's happy with it, and so she should be. But it was the Chinese women that dominated. The silver medal going to Zhu Jiru. Awesome strength in the vault, and great consistency and performance across all four pieces of apparatus. An amazing combination, front somersault to back somersault on the beam. That's where she started to respond to the challenge, finishing off with a very strong routine on floor. It wasn't enough, though, to take the gold medal away from her teammate, but she can be happy with the silver. She's already got a gold from the team competition yesterday, and I'm sure we'll be seeing more of Zhu Zhiru in the individual apparatus finals. But it was the young He Ning that was on fire today in this final. She didn't have it all her own way, but she responded so well. By the time she took to the beam, she'd moved ahead, and then one of the best floor routines that we've seen finished off her final. And in the end, there was absolutely no doubt about it that He Ning takes the gold medal at the Asian Games. Well, that wraps up both the men's and women's individual all-round finals. We've got another 2 days of artistic gymnastic action to look forward to in the individual apparatus finals. But for now, let's take a quick look at the medal presentation for the women's individual final.
Time for the accolades. Women's individual all-round final victory ceremony. And just as with the men, we were treated to something very special. China, in the end, established their supremacy. And they had a few anxious moments, courtesy Hong from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, and she is leading them out. And the splendor of the ceremonies, one of the features here. Quick look at the brilliance of He Ning. Focused, very, very accomplished. And joyous at the end. And one of the great features of the Chinese performance was not only in skill, but the way they cheered each other, congratulated each other, and it was very noticeable at the end. There was a double hug from coaches to both gymnasts before the result came up. Gulbenov Rustambeck. Uzbekistan has the honor of presenting the medals.
Winner of the bronze medal, representing the Democratic People's Republic of Korea,
Su Jong-hong, who gave the Chinese a couple of wobbly moments. Halfway, she found herself in the lead. Couldn't sustain it on beam. Recovered her composure to present a great floor exercise to make sure that the bronze medal went to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Su Jong-hong. She gave them a run for their money. Giroux, 18 years old, steps up to take silver. Well-deserved congratulations to bronze and silver medal winners. Zhu Jiuru for China takes silver. Tiny, determined, accomplished and very, very mature in attitude for one so young. 16 years old, a worthy Asian Games champion. Heining a real battle. In the end, she emerged victorious, staving off the challenge from Zhu Jiuru. Heining from China takes the gold in the women's individual all-round Asian Games final. Super performance. A lovely smile. Gold for China's Heining.
Ladies and gentlemen, the national anthem of the People's Republic of China.
Well, that's it. 4 gold medals were up so far, and all have gone to China. 1 each for the team. Gold to Heining, silver to Zhu Jiuru, and bronze to Sujong Hong. The women's individual all-round final provided thrills and more gold for China. Heining sandwiched by Zhu Jiuru and Su Jong Hong. A quick photograph for the album. In the end, it was China versus China. But this young lady from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, Su Jong Hong, really gave them some wobbly moments. Just the beam was the problem. Recovered for a very impressive floor. Silver performance, full of excitement, full of vivacity and flair from Zhu Jiuru. But it was Heining who kept focus and produced the floor exercise that finally beat her. Kept her focus all the way through the competition. Wonderful maturity, presentation for one so young and so tiny. Floor did the trick, and the smile came. Lots of thrills, not too many spills. wonderful competition. The women's all-round. 4th gold medal of these Asian Games is gone once again to China. We hope you've enjoyed it. We certainly have. Individual apparatus finals still to come tomorrow and the day after in these 15 Asian Games.